What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and breaking news coming out with mounting massive pressure for a federal level forced stimulus check as the Omicron variant is spreading the pandemic, the likes of which we have never seen before. And this is your stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Now, take a look, you guys. This is starting to prompt articles coming out like this, just coming out. Forced stimulus check 2022. Does Omicron mean a new $1,400 stimulus check? And this is all because of the records that are being smashed right now by the Omicron variant. Take a look, you guys. This map is showing a blue circle that encompasses the entire United States, showing the massive spread of this new variant. And just to give you an idea of what is unfolding right now, the last single day high of new cases in the United States was back in January of 2021 with 300,000 new cases in a single day. Well, take a look, you guys. December 27, 2021, yesterday, 543,000 new cases in a single day, almost doubling the last record high, totally smashing it, skyrocketing the 7-day moving average to 239,000 new cases in a single day. And we're hearing that this is just the beginning of this upswing, and we're hearing this isn't even all the cases in the United States, just the ones being recorded, as there's a lot of people that are receiving take-home tests or can't get their hands on tests, and they're not all being recorded. I myself caught the Omicron variant, and it is not in this data because I had a take-home test. So we're hearing this could be actually a lot worse than what is even being reported. Take a look at this, you guys. Can fully vaccinated people spread the Omicron variant to others? Well, the CDC has come out and said they have revealed that fully vaccinated people can also spread this and be asymptomatic, but pass it on to others as well. And check your flights. Cancellations continue. Airlines blame Omicron for staffing shortages, as we're hearing that there's so many workers for the airplanes that are sick right now that they just don't have enough people to staff the planes. And there was over 7,000 cancellations. Now, we're also hearing that this is just the beginning of this, that we're just starting to take off with this new wave. And take a look at this article coming out today, you guys. January will be a really hard month as the Omicron variant fuels a spike in infections, experts say. And more breaking news coming out. Take a look at this. CDC has shortened the isolation period from 10 days to 5 days, saying you might not be as infectious as you thought, but we really just got to get those airline workers back out there. We got to get people back out into society, because if we start quarantining again for this long, it could be very devastating to our economy. And we saw today cryptocurrencies and the stock market begin to slide significantly, and it's starting to prompt the question, articles coming out like this: do we need more stimulus checks? And people have been asking this since the Omicron variant has hit. Take a look, you guys. Lawmakers, business leaders, they begin to raise alarms about dwindling federal aid as Omicron cases rise across the United States. Will Congress pass another payment as Omicron sparks an increase in cases? And we're hearing that there is a major concern right now, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys the latest video footage and articles coming out on this new spread. But very quickly, before we dive in, just wanted to mention thank you so much for all the support on that second channel, Steve Ram Finance. And if you are somebody that's interested in learning about growing wealth, personal finance, maybe you're completely starting over with everything going on, or maybe you just want some financial freedom, well, this is going to be the channel for you. I'm going to be sharing with you guys some of the things that me and my family have done over the past couple of years to set ourselves financially free. And I'm really excited because I think this is going to be helping out a lot of people. If you're interested in launching a business, investing in real estate, stocks, cryptos, learning about the metaverse, well, this is going to be the channel for you. And if you're interested, I'm just going to be pinning a comment down below. All you got to do is click that link in that comment. It's going to take you to the channel. Just hit subscribe, turn on notifications. We're going to be launching here very soon. And when we do, I'm really excited. I hope it's going to be helping out a lot of people, you guys. But with that being said, let's go ahead and start off. And let's start off by smashing that like button for the YouTube algorithm. If you appreciate these updates, that really helps out the channel a ton. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Also, leave your comments. I love to hear your thoughts on everything happening right now. Share this out if you think it's going to help out other people. And if this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date on everything happening, it's totally free to do so. All you got to do is smash that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and you can come join the Ram fam, come join the viewing community. I'll keep you up to date. And if you got any specific questions for me, I'm easy to get a hold of directly. All you got to do is shoot me a DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. Best way by far to get a hold of me directly, guys. But with that being said, let's dive into this breaking news coming out about potential forced stimulus checks, the Omicron variant spread, and where do we go from here?
Well, let's begin with these new CDC guidelines. Why is the CDC now changing these recommended isolation times for people who test positive for the virus but don't have symptoms? I guess the simple question is, why now?
Well, the reason is that with the sheer volume of new cases that we are having and that we expect to continue with Omicron, one of the things we want to be careful of is that we don't have so many people out. I mean, obviously, if you have symptoms, you should not be out. But if you are asymptomatic and you are infected, we want to get people back to the jobs, particularly those with essential jobs, to keep our society running smoothly. So I think that was a very prudent and good choice on the part of the CDC, which we spent a considerable amount of time discussing, namely getting people back in half the time than they would have been out so that they can get back to the workplace doing things that are important to keep society running smoothly.
Wow, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, you guys. So the main reasoning behind this we're hearing is just we cannot have society shutting down again. This could be devastating for our very fragile economy right now. And they're saying we just need to get people back out there into society. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But this is provoking the question of how fragile is our economy and do we need more checks? And we're starting to see articles coming out like this. Now, I've got more video footage for you here in just a second, but let's take a look at this article. And if you'd like to read it for yourself, link in the description below. Does Omicron mean a new $1,400 check? Now, it appears that all across the country, the current red-hot high inflation environment and the rapid spread of the Omicron variant are propelling even more passionate calls for another round or two more rounds of stimulus checks. Now, we're hearing people are saying they want to see a fourth $2,000 federal stimulus check. We're also hearing that if we had two more rounds, a fourth and a fifth check, that would be one of the key components to combating poverty throughout the course of this pandemic. And also, we have a petition going around saying we need monthly reoccurring checks throughout the course of the pandemic until we're out of this. Now, the article says that according to the U.S. Center of Disease and Control Prevention, or CDC, that this variant, which was the first detected in South Africa roughly a month ago, now accounts for 90% of all pandemic cases in some parts of the nation. And the Omicron, overall, this strain represents about 70% of all cases in the United States. Now, this rapid increase in the proportion of the Omicron circulating around the country is similar to what we've seen across the world, as this is taking over the globe. And we kind of were expecting this in the United States, as we saw this already happening back in the UK. And usually what we've seen historically so far with this pandemic over the course of the last 2 years is whatever happens in the UK kind of happens in the United States about a month or two later. So now it looks like finally it's starting to hit the United States. Now, focus elsewhere though. Despite the urgent health crisis crippling even more families' financial well-being, the White House and Congress appear to be focused on passing the Build Back Better legislation, which would add another year of expanded child tax credits. Now, that bill does not have a fourth federal level stimulus check, but it does have an expansion of those monthly checks to parents for an additional year. Now, however, if the Build Back Better bill fails to garner enough support, that maximum child tax credit would plummet down to $1,000 per school-age child and $1,600 per child under the age of 6. Now, the U.S. President Joe Biden, however, he has stated that he is open to returning to the negotiating table with West Virginia Senator, that holdout Joe Manchin, that Democrat who has effectively sunken the $2 trillion domestic policy legislation. And I've kept you guys up to date on that here on the channel, and I've had a lot of people vocalize, just let the bill go. It doesn't have stimulus checks, unemployment extensions, why bother passing it? And we've also had progressive Democrats say the same thing and say, President Joe Biden, just do executive actions, pass stimulus on your own. However, they're still trying to do this through negotiations and pass it through with legislation. I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date on that. But fourth, stimulus checks. Despite the lack of focus in Washington on approving more stimulus checks, that doesn't necessarily mean that the calls for more government-issued direct payments are entirely dead. Now, there are currently at least 7 circulating petitions, as we mentioned, that are demanding more checks, and several of them have been going around, orchestrated a total of roughly 3 million signatures now. So about 1% of the nation's population is getting on board saying not only do we need more checks, but we need monthly reoccurring checks as well. Now, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, but I've got some more video footage for you as take a look at this. 1 in 50 Manhattan residents have been infected with the pandemic in just the last week, as this is spreading incredibly. And we're hearing that right now in states, they're issuing new mandates as well, requiring that you be vaccinated or you cannot work. And if you do work, your employer will be fined $1,000. Now, in addition to that, you can't enter into any indoor environments, no gyms, no restaurants, no grocery stores, unless you have proof of vaccination. And we're also hearing that right now there is so many people that are infected that there's a shortage of testing kits, and people are literally waiting in lines for hours just to get tested, and then sometimes, in some cases, waiting over a week to find out the results of their tests for when they were sick. Take a look, you guys.
Also developing tonight, this alarming holiday COVID surge across our area. News 4 has every angle covered for you as the cases and the hospitalizations are going up, including in children. Let's give you a quick look here at new numbers from New York State. In New York City, the number of kids hospitalized rose 5-fold to 109 last week. Across the rest of the state, the number more than doubled to 184 kids hospitalized last week. Now, this increase comes as the next phase of New York City's vaccine mandate will kick in today. Private employers have to require their employees to get the COVID shot. Want to get out to News 4's Andrew Siff, starting off our team coverage live outside of Bellevue Hospital, where we see people lined up there behind you, Andrew.
Right, Natalie, the line behind us, that's to get a COVID test. It's about an hour to an hour and a half in line to get one of those. There are shorter waits at other locations, even no waits at locations that are poorly marked. More on that in just a moment. But first, you talked about that New York City vaccine mandate. It's the biggest of its kind in the country, and the mayor reminded everyone it is in effect, now in place.
Good morning, everybody.
At City Hall today, Mayor Bill de Blasio reminding thousands of businesses.
Today, the mandate goes into effect for the entire private sector in New York City, all employers.
Now in effect, the mandate means private employers must require the vaccine for their workforce. Fines start at $1,000 for companies that refuse. And if you're going to indoor dining and entertainment, full vaccination is required. The mayor said just like past mandates, it'll succeed.
We've done this work already and found that we did not need to fine.
But business leaders say the new rules on the 5th to last day of the de Blasio administration will hurt the economy.
Any confusion, like the mayor's mandate and the lack of a testing option, is going to slow return. It makes employers less willing to mandate that their employees come back to the office.
Meanwhile, in Albany, Governor Hochul today ordering 1 million home testing kits sent to New York City schools.
Whether it's sending them home with children after the first day, whether they can institute testing in schools, we will leave that up to them.
This as the Omicron surge sends more children to the hospital, a 5-fold increase in COVID-positive kids hospitalized in New York City since December 5th. The state health commissioner saying it's a wake-up call.
We want pediatricians to be alert to making the diagnosis of COVID in children. And we also want parents to be alert to the diagnosis.
One key preventive measure, getting tested. After weeks of long lines, new sites are opening, but not always smoothly. A promised CDC site in Kew Gardens never opened up today. And this city-run site on the Lower East Side, poorly marked.
They should put a big sign saying it.
We just assumed there's no way there's a test here because there's no testing signage, there's nothing.
Yeah, there was no wait at that city-run testing site on the Lower East Side, but it was under scaffolding, hard to see. It was open for testing. One last note, Dr. Bassett talking about the kids hospitalized with COVID. She said virtually all of them unvaccinated. We're live in Kips Bay. Andrew Siff, News 4 New York.
New Jersey also seeing an explosion in COVID cases, and it's also getting harder and harder in some spots to find a test. The state reported more than 8,800 new infections today, and more than 2,600 people are battling the virus in a hospital. That's the highest level since the middle of February. And tonight, some people have to wait up to 5 hours just to get a test, and more than a week to get a result.
So there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. A lot of breaking news coming out today with this new spread of the Omicron variant, and we're going to be seeing what unfolds. We're going to see how the president responds to all this, how Congress responds to all this, if they feel that another stimulus package or stimulus check is necessary, as we have members of Congress already saying, after Build Back Better, pass another stimulus package and bring back those stimulus provisions of the past, bring them in like checks and unemployment. We still need this as we're battling away, and we are facing inflation, and our economy is very fragile at this time. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, you guys, but whatever unfolds, I'll be sure to share with you here on the channel, as there is a lot happening right now. And as always, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Helps me out a ton, just takes a second. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. If you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3, and consider joining that second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. But with that being said, you guys, I hope this reaches you well. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care. God bless. Have a blessed New Year's. This is Steve.